All right, how's everybody doing today? So, um, since I'm by myself today, I will be talking about my process instead of just um, going over all of the examples that I know of from other people because they have their own thing and they know how to do their own thing better than I know how to do their thing. um, so yeah, I know that's like a weird way of saying it, but it is where we are at right now. So as far as time and projects and things of that nature are, what I do is curated to my brain and the way my body and brain work together and sometimes don't work together. So everything that I do is flexible. Hey, Eva. Cute intro. Thank you. Yeah, it is just me today. So, like I said, I'm just going to go over a couple of things that I do. Um, and then hopefully next time we can hit the time and project management a little bit harder and you can get more examples and more ideas than mine because what I do probably will not work for everybody else. Hey Sky, hanging out in the comments. That is perfectly fine. All right, and I'm sorry about the lighting too. I didn't get much sleep last night. And the migraine is kind of like tickling in the back of the head, threatening over the stabby thing. Morning cat paw. Excuse me. Anyway, so as far as time management goes, I work 5 to 6 days a week, and this is my job. Being here on YouTube, being an author, being a content creator, doing things that generate ideas for others. This is my job. I also do some beta reading gigs that are paid. I do some it's technical paper editing. So I still have professors that I'm in contact with. And every now and then they'll shoot me a problem child and I help them write their like thesis or whatever so that they can actually pass the class instead of just either skimming by and barely passing or failing. So yeah. Jenna says, hi, listening in while you sweep and mop mode in the kitchen. I can talk. I promise. Hello. Time management when you're working a full-time job and one vehicle to share my mental people with various activities and requirements is important. Exactly. So this right here is where you really have to think of priorities and have communication. I used to be in a rather large family, and we would be doing things for all kinds of people, whether it was family or friends of the family or whatnot. And a lot of times things would pop up, like the tractor would break down for our neighbor or something to that nature in which they would need our help. So being flexible was kind of a thing that I grew up with. And having time management for this and situations like that is awesome. And knowing that it's okay if something comes up, if something happens, knowing it is okay and that you will eventually get to what it is that you need to get to. Life happens. If it didn't, why are we here? Right? Eva says, I've only started taking myself seriously in the last little bit. Time management is a beast I've battled all my life, but lately things are vibing good. Very, very good. And it's also like time of year, your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, all of those can have an impact on you and how productive you can be, or how much you need to put into one slot of your life versus another. So during the holidays, I know that the emotion side of me usually shuts down. Usually. So I know that I don't have to do as much self-care in that aspect, if that makes any sense. Like, I can focus on work more, and work is the distraction, and work is the thing that gets me through each day during the holidays. So work and me are besties at this point, during November and December and stuff like that. So I know that season I'm a workaholic, but I also know that January, February, and now April are kind of up in the air because of birthdays. And my emotional self is a roller coaster. So during that season, I plan as loosely as I possibly can. I still set 3 goals, but I know if I don't match any of those goals, it's okay. It's fine, right? Finding the right method is so important. Exactly. Sorry about the migraine. Wishing you were restoring sleep. Thank you. I am probably going to be laying in bed today. Cat Paw says breakfast has arrived, so I'll be on my phone listening. Awesome. Thank you for keeping me up. Eva says I struggle with time management without any pressing responsibilities outside of family and home life. As I am with a family. Oh yeah. I enjoy being around. My husband is a good partner and dad, and so y'all that juggle things impress me quite a lot. Yeah. Sky impresses me. I don't know how she does things. I don't know how she keeps up with things. It's beyond my comprehension. Same with Maggie as well. Well, everybody has different things that awe and inspire others. Y'all out there inspire me in more ways than you probably imagine, because one, you're here supporting me while dealing with stuff in your life and taking time out of your life and your projects to be here with me. So that in and of itself is very, very impressive, and not everybody will do that. And I thank you for it. Now, priorities are part of time management. You have to prioritize what you need in life. So, family always comes first. Depending on how religious or political you are, that takes time as well. Depending on your finances and the way you live, like Sky having 1 car right now, that is a priority that you have to take in consideration when you are managing your time and managing your projects. How much time does each of those things take out during a day? How much time does it take out during a week, a month? When you can calculate stuff like that, and you usually can, because so-and-so has to be at this place at this time, and it takes me 30 minutes to get there, it takes me 30 minutes to come back, and that's when I can eat my lunch, meditate a little bit, clear my mind, and open up my document. So, yeah, you can calculate your time in order to manage it better. The only thing that you can't calculate is stuff that happens that you have no control of. So having a buffer day or a buffer time in the day, each day, is also a good idea, and it helps a lot of people. I honestly don't do that, because the way I work my projects is I get them done that day or I get them done another day, and it's fine. Being flexible with plans is important too, because things come up exactly always when you least expect it too. Jenna says, I think teaching brainwashed me a little on time management. Every free minute is, okay, what can I do for somebody else? And that's, yeah. This is also in time management too, but you also have to remember that it's okay to say no sometimes. You've got to take care of yourself, and I'm speaking to myself here too. Here's hoping the migraine eases. I have caffeine headache trying to cripple me at the moment, so I can believe. Oh gosh, those are. So caffeine headaches and sinus headaches to me are like right up there with low-level migraines. They're on the same level to me. Hold on, I gotta take a sip. Speaking of caffeine, Eva says September to January is all B days and holidays, but January itself terrifies me now. To be honest, it's the unexpected that scares me most these days, where seasons used to. I'm a new person. Yeah. And you change like that. Yeah. Sorry. Migraine brain. I don't know if that's better or worse, or if comparison matters at all. But 2025 changed the heckin' out of me, y'all. Yeah. 2025 has been a weird, odd year. I'm going to take the rune for weird. It's also the rune for Gandalf, so that y'all can picture it if you don't know runes, and just put it on everything 2025. Because it is an oddity. I like having people to be here with, so thank you for being here too. Aw, you're so sweet. Sky says a lot of things get kicked to the wayside, to be fair, and being able to pivot is important. The times my husband quoted the pivot lines while we were moving the furniture here, it was this close to driving me a little bit insane. And knowing that sometimes there's just not enough time to do things for myself. Yeah. Priorities. Again, it means a lot of missed opportunities as well, and being okay with that. Yeah. Thank you all. I find a lot of inspiration and motivation from a lot of people I see and hear from on YouTube. Same. The one car life is a struggle. Our one car broke down, expensive fix. So we got a second car, but are still a one car fam. So all the costs, none of the benefits. Ugh, it sucks. I have a feeling that my Jeep is about to give up the ghost, so we'll probably be a one car fam here soon. Not that it's really that big of a deal for us, because it's only two of us and Kona, but yeah. But soon we'll fix it. I love saying no, and when people get mad at me, it's clear indication they aren't my people, right? They don't understand. They usually the people that used to get mad at me when I told them no, which was very rare because I didn't know how to say no a lot of times, was the ones that were using me anyway. So yeah, something to think about. Say no. Hey, Weaver Words, how are you? That's where we're currently at, Eva. Our one car needs a new engine, so we're using a car we never had intention of keeping, was my grandmother's, until we can afford to fix it. I don't know what our car needs. It starts but barely moves. I suspect engine transmission or something equally as expensive. Yeah. But the shop is getting it soon, so we'll know one way or another. After a tow bill, too, yeah. 2025 has legit been what a 9-year should be, so shed that snake skin, y'all. Also, weird used to be another word for fate. Exactly. So, the rune for weird, it doesn't mean just like oddity, falseness, or anything like that. It also means growth. It also means change. So 2025, even though it was odd and even though it was difficult, it has helped us become who we need to be, or at least I feel like it has. I know that I feel stronger emotionally, maybe not mentally sometimes, but emotionally. And so with a year like 2025, with priorities and time management, I learned to give myself grace, forgive myself for not getting things done, and to be more flexible with my time and projects. So with me, I do lists. And if I check something off of that list in a day, that is awesome. If I check off 3 or 4 things, even better. If I don't check anything off at all, that's great too. Because you know what? That list is still there. I know I still need to do it, and I'll get to it eventually. But it's not pressure. I'm not choking myself with it. And it took this year for me to figure that out. Very cool fact, yeah. And exactly, Sam. If someone is upset by no, they are probably using you, or you were insensitive with the timing of the no. Yeah. Like saying no after implying yes until the last minute is a dick move. Exactly. And if you agree to something and you find like you cannot do it whatsoever, like something has come up, life is lifing, let the other person know. Let whoever is involved know. They will understand. They know that life happens. They're probably struggling too. So just communicate. Should have had time management, communication, and project management up here. Communication is a big thing, and I am terrible at communicating. My husband will give you examples of my terrible communication because before coffee, I mutter and mumble. I've gotten better. I have gotten better in the last 12 years, 13 years. Because used to, you couldn't talk to me at all. Now you can, it's fine. Somewhat. As long as it's not constant. And as long as it's not a lot of questions. But I will not tell anybody how I feel. Because I feel like it's a burden to them. I will not tell anybody that I have imposter syndrome because I feel like it's a burden to them, and they are also going to turn around and tell me, yeah, you're right, you're not good. So sorry, I'm saying a lot too. I also don't really communicate how doing certain things for other people impacts my time. Now, this used to be a greater occurrence. Now I've created my little box of what I can and cannot do, and it's holding up fairly well. And I know how to say no now. So communication is something that we probably can all work on, and we probably need to do a workshop with communication or something. I don't know. I don't know how you would teach one another how to communicate better, because yeah, old dogs, new tricks, I guess. Takes a lot of lessons to learn things these days. A lot of people are unlearning their shame around communicating or not well. Yes, that's the thing. That is the thing. Our generation, I believe, well, a couple generations actually, it was just suck it up and do it. Sky says, I want to do more work dates where I hang out with people offline without being live. I just don't have time, so my social time is my live streams these days. Same. Mainly just because I don't want to go outside the house. But this is my social stuff. Eva says, my husband is only just realizing his own inability to stand as the main character of his own life. That's a hard hit. It takes hard lessons sometimes to even see the issues. Yeah. And yet, in a million years, we'd all want to hug you and your imp. Sky says, my husband and I are still learning communication, but our relationship is so much stronger for it. We've come a long way since we got married. Yeah. Communication is so important for any relationship. Stop apologizing if I said. Yeah. I blame my husband for this. I did not used to apologize so much until I met and married him. And it's like every other phrase that comes out of his mouth is, I'm sorry. And it's like, it's not even your fault. You had no control over it. Why? Weaverword says, saying no can be hard when it comes to making money too. Exactly. Sometimes you just have to pass on some opportunities for the sake of your health. Yep. And that is the reason why I quit my retail job. There are times where I regret it because we don't have as much money coming in. And it would be nice to have that amount of money coming back in. But at the same time, if I go back to it, I fear that I will go back to not writing, not publishing, and I definitely wouldn't be here as much. I wouldn't be online as much. I wouldn't be communicating. I wouldn't have a community with y'all anymore if I went back. Sky, in order to stay married, you got to go a long way for sure. Very relatable. Yeah. I'm always in an off-camera hangout while with y'all, so just let me know if there's an actual off-camera hangout, and I'll probably make it work. That would be awesome. It really would be. Maybe I'll set something up and host a writing hangout. That would be cool too. Like an in-person group, but virtual and not streamed live. We can talk issues and also workshop our writing. Makes notes. I don't have the time at the moment, but someday. Whoever says, I'd be interested in a group session. I don't talk much, but I work such long hours, and sometimes writing, editing can be pretty isolating. Yes. So maybe we can do I don't know. We'll talk. We'll discuss this. See if there's something that we can do to do something that we can do to do a offline hangout. Like we could also, so if we're discussing and workshopping, and we can also kind of record it and send it to everybody involved. That way, if you're not taking notes or you can't remember what exactly was said, you'll have the recording there too, but it's not live. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll discuss. Exactly. This is not on writing and not publishing, Sam. This is why I didn't go back to a brick and mortar when lockdown ended. I didn't care that Maryland had just upped the pay grade and entire tax bracket. It was not worth it. You had to do you, and that's what matters. Yeah. I was, and I don't mean this in a light way or like a flippant way, but I was going crazy. I could feel my mental health spiraling and my emotional health spiraling being in a retail job, and that in and of itself is not conducive with writing for me anyway. Depression is because apparently when I am severely depressed, that's when I do my best writing. Hence writing a book in 5 days, or writing 4 books in 5 days each. Y'all probably noticed because y'all pay attention. But February, when I wrote Pristine, was the time that I learned that Dad was actually dying. And it was going to be months, not years, months. And then June was when I actually had time to process that. And it took a lot. It took a lot. That'd be worth it. I do work dates with Amy, a non-writing freelancer friend, on Mondays. Ooh. Something that we can do to do. A friend hangout, but we'll talk about our passions, so writing will come up. Exactly. Just have a chat, and whether it's conducive to writing or us just letting things out, like our fears or whatever, frustrations. Had that offline hangout with a craft group, but sadly it folded when summer arrived. Oh no. Will it pick back up again now that fall's coming back around, and people usually do more craft stuff whenever they're locked in during fall and winter? Eva says, what I'm thinking of would be non-recorded, literally existing as peers, friends, and not content creators, fans. Our local library recently started a writers group. I've missed many meetings because of surgery and such, but I'm hoping to vibe with it. That, yes, I like that. Eva says, my closest friend lost her father this year, and my longest friend lost her mother, and Sam lost her dad, and that's the 3. Yeah. I hope that works out well for you, Eva. Yeah, the writing group. I want to go to a writing group so bad, but there's none here. All of the ones that I've found here are in Charlotte, and Charlotte and me driving do not vibe. I can't. It is horrid driving in Charlotte. I thought Atlanta was bad, and I would not drive in Atlanta at all. But I think now I would prefer Atlanta over Charlotte, if that says anything. Huh. Weaver says, when I'm depressed is when I do my best writing. Actually, that's pretty much me too. Yeah. I'm going to set up a monthly hangout and invite you all. Be prepared or don't be. It's fine. Yes. My only day that would probably be like really, really bad is usually Wednesdays. But yeah, invite away. We'll show up or we won't. Conducive to life is indirectly conducive to writing and health. Yeah. Charlotte would be a 3-hour drive from where I will be in 2 weeks. I'm not driving 3 hours for a weekly writing group. So yeah. Charlotte would be what is it? Charlotte Mecklenburg Library. That's where the largest writing group is, I do believe. And it is a 45-minute drive if there's no traffic on 85. Now, for those of you who have been in or around North Carolina at any point in time in your life, you know that there is no such thing as no traffic on 85. So yeah, hour and a half drive to a writing group that might last for an hour. No. Inspiring, right? He just put out feelers and started showing up where he said he'd be, and others started showing up. That's pretty cool. Hey, Heather, how are you? If we do a meetup in Knoxville, would you be able to go? A one-time situation? Yes, I would. I would endeavor to make that happen as best as I can. So yes, I will go to Knoxville. Sorry. Old habits die hard. We used to call it Knox Vegas all the time. All the time. It was to the point where my cousin didn't even know that it was Knoxville. She thought it was Knox Vegas. Because, yeah. I think Nia is down that way, so she'd be able to make it. Sam, me, who else? Everybody make it to Knox Vegas. 85 is eye twitch. 85 is all the eyes twitching, the third eye included. And I say that living outside of the Baltimore, Washington Beltway. Yeah, I've driven in Washington D.C. I've driven in Baltimore. I think Baltimore is the furthest north that I've ever been. I've driven in Dallas, Fort Worth. I'll never do that again either. Let's see. What are the big cities? Denver, St. Louis. Whatever cities were in between. Memphis was one of them. In between Murphy and Wyoming. And I went through all those cities. No traffic in 85. The rapture did happen. Travis wouldn't go anywhere for the rapture. Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Oh, I can't wait until I move back. I'd make a drive to Knoxville too. Yes, Knox Vegas. Grew up just north of Dallas. Denver traffic was so wild we never drove into the city while living in lower Denver. I live outside of St. Louis. The grid is stupid. It can get sloppy real fast. Yeah. And the construction there, I'm sorry. St. Louis had the oddest way of marking construction, which is they didn't at all. You ran up on the cones. Oh, man. The rapture, yes. Oh my gosh. I was waiting for it, y'all. I was totally waiting for a couple of family members to make a comment or something like that. I was waiting with bated breath, but none of them did. None of the ones that I expected, the ones that I was waiting on, did, and it was so disappointing to me. Just because it's a blue city and a red state, yeah, or a brown city, however you want to name it. There's a reason nothing gets done, right? Um, like Chicago and Illinois, which is my ex-little state. Chicago's. Did I drive in Chicago? No. I've been to Chicago a lot of times though. One for because the ex was in the Navy, and he was stationed up there, and the other was whenever I was in Pamper Chef. Chicago is the city where it was founded or whatever, and that was where our meetings, the big yearly meetings, were. And then I went there for something else. I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of school thing. Chicago is blamed for everything in the rural portions of the state. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, um, let's get back a little bit on topic here. So, the way I plan my year, and I kind of borrow this from the HB90 method, list my priorities, the things that are unforgiving. A list what I would like to do. I list what I need to do. And then and this is me, this is not an HB90 thing. I list the worst possible cases scenarios of stuff that can happen and the time that it would take up. uh, and even then, it's not a foolproof plan. It's not anything like that. So, um, it's just my way of mentally preparing myself, and it is a part of my depression. Because a lot of times when I am depressed, my brain goes over scenarios constantly. That's my brain loop. So I do those 4 things. I schedule out the priorities. I schedule out what I need to do because that takes precedence over what I want to do. I write down things like birthdays, meetings, everything like that. And then I take that schedule and I figure out how much time is around all those things. Then I give myself 2 days off a week. Then I give myself another day off because of my health issues, my emotional and mental health issues, and my physical health issues, just for buffer. So technically, I only schedule myself 4 days a week to work, technically. And I go from there. I create my lists I break down my projects, create lists off of that. Create lists off of things that I want to do just in case I get to them. I have a checklist for that and I can check it off. That's what I do. If I get to it, I get to it. If not, it's okay too. Back to topic, time management, right? Overanalysis paralysis. Yeah, exactly. I do what I can when I can, and if all I can do is rest or zone out, I'll do that. But my life affords me that privilege. Exactly. Same. And I'll tell you one thing. Ever since I quit the retail job, okay, y'all, I wrote 4 books. No, 6 books. Yeah, I wrote 6 books to completion since I've quit my job. And before, while I was still working, it took me several years to complete a book, unless I gave up sleep like I did with I'm No Hero. I'm No Hero was written in a month because I would come home from my second shift job. I would stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. I would go to sleep for 2 or 3, 4 hours, and then I would go to work. That's probably the reason why it became 250,000 words or whatever it was. Yeah. It's a great way of doing things. Yeah. Honestly, the HB90 method, if I hadn't taken that course and if I hadn't become a part of that community, I never would have thought to do things that way, because she makes you break down your priorities, what you need to do, what you want to do, what takes up your time daily, weekly, monthly, your chores and stuff like that. She breaks down everything so that you can take the time to consider what time is taken up and what time you have left. So, yeah. See ya, Eva. We will talk more about the whole hangout thing. Cat Paul says, I do what I can when I can, and that means overdoing it on a decent day and crashing. Yeah. When did you create your job, out of curiosity? It was 2023. No. Okay, hold on. It was May, because I always do crazy things in May. I don't know what it is about May, but I always quit jobs in May. It's 2024. Yeah, it was 2024. Because the bane of my existence for a year and 8 months moved in that January, and I quit that May. So yeah, 2024. Do you ever regret quitting your day job, or is that a stupid question? I do at times because of the money. I miss the little trickle of money that came from that job, because it was a retail job. So the $300 to $400 a week, I miss that, and I miss some of the people. Very few of the people, mind you, but I miss being able to talk and hang out with them. That most of them were coworkers, and there was like 2 or 3 customers that I miss. I still get to see them every now and then, so it's not really a big deal. But for the most part, no, I don't regret it all at all, because if I was still there, I would not be here with y'all. If I was still there, I would probably be so shut down that I wouldn't be able to do anything creative. That's how bad it was mentally, how exhausting it was mentally and emotionally. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2024, May of 2024. It's only been a year and some change, y'all. So I wrote the My Husband Wants series. That's 4 novellas. I wrote the majority of Daughter of Blood Gold. I wrote the majority of Isekai Detective. And y'all, I need a light. I can't see that far. Wrote the majority of Capture the Intrepid. Wrote 30,000 words on the epic. So yeah. Finished 6 books and wrote good chunks of like 2 or 3 others. And if I was at that retail job, that wouldn't have happened at all. Time is weird these days. Yes, it's so weird. I was sitting here thinking it was 2020 or something. Shows how far off I was. No, it's not. It's not far off because 2020 was the year I started at that job. So during 2020, I transitioned from, I think there was about a month and a half where I didn't have a job. And then I started it. So yeah, your brain is correct in a way. But yeah, because I was doing Census Bureau stuff while applying to normal retail jobs because the Census Bureau would not last. It was only for the summer. So yeah, not too off. Okay, so I think I am going to let y'all go. We've had a couple of interesting chatty moments, and hopefully if you want to try listing your life out like that, your priorities, what you have to get done, what you have agreed to, what you know without a shadow of a doubt that you have to get done. And that's everything. That's health wise, that's business wise, that's family wise, that's everything. Those are your major priorities. And then the things that you need to do, they're not as high on the totem pole as priorities are, but you know you need to do them in order to not necessarily feel successful, but to build towards your dream life. And then the things that you want to do comes third. And then also you need to make sure that you schedule in the time it takes you to do your daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly things. You know, you're washing the dishes, your laundry, the household cleaning and stuff like that. Running to such and such meeting and whatnot. So those 4 things, you list everything out. And I highly recommend with the chores and your daily, weekly, monthly things, you time yourself. Because what I thought took me 15 minutes actually took me 30. So time yourself. That way you know for certain how much time it takes out of your day. And then you can plan from there. And you can still plan loosely. Break everything down into steps, manageable steps, SMART goals. There's a reason why we were taught that in school, SMART goals. And then go from there. Create lists, check it off. Or if you're a person who likes to do your daily schedule and you have to do this on this day and have to do that on that day, create that. I do lists because it takes the pressure off. But yeah, do things that way. Time management. And once you manage your time, your project management, it'll fall into place. It's simple. It's amazing how that puzzle just comes together. Okay. I'm going to let y'all go. I'll say that again. I will probably see you in the chats later on today. Unless this migraine actually takes full hold, and then I am probably just going to take the day off. But be kind to yourself. That is your main, utmost priority. You got to take care of yourself, because without you, there is none of your dreams and the things that you can do for the world. And I will see y'all right here for another episode of Breaking the Block next Sunday at 11 a.m. Bye.